I'd like to thank you for inviting me on the show. It's such an honor to be here, and I'd just like to say that when I'm not playing Xbox with my mate Thor, I really like to listen to my favorite podcast, Pop Culture Pasta. Hey, Doug! Oh, that's right, Doug's dead.
Pop Culture Pastor.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the podcast. Dave here. I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew. Let's go. I've had enough of this, Cody. You guys sit here complaining about what the topic of the pod is.
You're all jacked up on Mountain Dew. You need to calm down.
I've had way too. It's this Overdrive Mountain Dew. It's called Mountain Dew Overdrive. You can only get it at Casey's, which is like small town Midwestern America, paradise. And I went in and I got me a couple. Only took me about 25 minutes to get through the line. Which, while we're discussing that, the pandemic has really robbed us of something that most of us haven't really realized, and that is we don't know how to wait in lines anymore.
The only thing I'm confused about with lines is, do I stand close like we used to, or do I still stay 4 or 5 feet back?
Let me set the scene for you. I walk into this convenience store. There's 20. Okay, that's an exaggeration. It's the Mountain Dew. There's 15 people waiting within 20 feet of the front area, but all over the place, Cain. All over the place. I have no idea where the line is. And there was never a line. I just have to go stand somewhere behind everyone else or find an open space. And then I got to remember. I have to look at everybody. It's like, okay, this person was here before me and this person was here before me and this person just came in. They were after me, but they're creeping a little bit because they think they're going to cut my line. Well, not today, buddy, because we're behind this person and this person and that person. And then, this old lady walked in. I'm going to let her go first because she seems nice. And I want her to be expedited through the line. And then here's quit creeping, buddy. We don't know how to wait in line. It was a mess. It was a mess, and I'm seeing it everywhere.
Okay, so I've never had that issue.
And it's because, do we just not, like you said, do we just not wait within a certain distance of everyone anymore?
Well, there's some people that are like, we have to have the distance, and there's other people that are like, distance schmistance, we're going to be all up in your ear.
Yeah, man, the guy with the blue hair who was behind me was really close to me. I mean, really close. Man, I've had way too much Mountain Dew.
We can't tell at all. You're fine. You're good.
I usually drink the Mountain Dew Zero, and they only do this Overdrive flavor in the full sugary version, and I'm feeling a little jacked.
Yeah, there's the sugar and the caffeine, right?
Yeah, it is. It's really a combo. So, welcome to Pop Culture Pastor. I am a licensed minister. Currently, I don't know if they're going to take that away for the Mountain Dew thing or what. Cody is a licensed minister as well.
I'm not worried about my privileges being revoked.
And as a co-host of the podcast with me, we also have two geeks of the round table, Sir Cain.
Hello.
And Sir Justin.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
I'd like you to know that I handle my dew just fine.
Yeah. Two repeat members, geeks of the round table. Welcome, fine gentlemen. Your honor and strength precedes you.
Wow, there we go.
All right.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. It just felt right because, if we're continuing the Knights of the Round Table theme, it just felt right.
Okay.
All right, we're ready. We're ready to talk about some news. It wouldn't be the news segment if we didn't update the Ezra Miller, The Flash situation.
Oh.
Warner Brothers, who shockingly little movement in this whole Ezra Miller thing. They're just barreling towards a release of this huge movie that costs all this money where the star of their movie is problematic.
A little.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There's no allegedly about it. I mean, we've got police. He's wanted, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got restraining orders. Every day it's something new.
He's even wanted by a tribal nation.
His band, he has a band performing at some teenage festival? Did I read that right?
You did.
What is happening? He's literally got a restraining order from a family because he's been grooming a teenager.
Eesh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what's happening. And Warner Brothers.
Again, allegedly.
Okay.
We're doing the.
All right. Let's be safe. Allegedly.
I mean, can we just agree, though, it's a mess?
Yes.
It's a mess.
And Warner Brothers, there's rumors, but Warner Brothers hasn't said anything. Here's the big rumor we're reporting as news. The rumor is that Warner Brothers is leaning towards releasing this huge blockbuster movie on HBO Max, not in theaters, because now they're just hoping to. Well, I don't know what they're hoping.
Okay, so I talked to one of my friends about this.
I thought you said I talked to my friend who's the executive director at Warner Brothers. Okay, go ahead.
Who is very, I guess, woke, if you will.
Okay.
And he said he would not go to the movies to watch it, but he would be tempted to watch it on HBO Max because no one would know. So...
I was about to compliment that I do respect woke people for that. For like, I'm not going to give my money to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, literally, that's where we're at as a culture, that I'm not giving my money to it intentionally. And if no one knows I'm watching it, then it's good.
I'm not going to give any more money by going to the theaters. I'm just going
Right,
to use my existing subscription.
So yeah, if you have an existing subscription, I mean, I wouldn't judge anyone for watching it anyways. I don't have that connection of like when we can call it woke if you want to, but Christians and conservative people do it too.
Yes.
Where they're like, we're going to boycott this. I always think that's silly. Because the money as in this capitalist society with the corporate, you are underneath a corporate umbrella. If you say that, my vision of you is you are underneath a corporate umbrella that you can't even fathom, and you're giving your money every day to something you would hate without knowledge. It just is a fact of living in this culture and society.
So the Ezra Miller stuff, though, when you said that you would never watch the Cosby Show again because of Bill Cosby's accusations.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with where my money goes.
Yes.
And everything to do with like, I can't watch this human being pretend to be someone else anymore.
And
because it's not funny. It's not entertaining to me anymore.
I'm getting really close to that with Ezra, in which before I actually enjoyed quite a few things that he was in. So
yeah. I actually liked the movie, was the Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a great movie. And I was into the story, that entertained by it. I thought he was great in it. Or I shouldn't call him a he though, right? He's a they. He's a they.
Sorry.
They were great in it because I like to call people what they want to be called.
Now there's woke for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not familiar. It's not like I know Ezra.
Yeah, we're not besties.
But if someone states that they would like to be called something, I want to try to the best of my memory.
Yes.
And I can't remember it all the time as I just, threw out there. Anyways, they're looking like it's going to relegate this movie to HBO Max, which this was supposed to be the big tentpole point that all the rest of their movies were going to springboard from. That can't be anymore, right?
No, we have moved on to Black Adam / Shazam. That's going to be the focal point.
Say, if you remember at the beginning of Batman, they had all of those movies they listed out. It's just kind of big, tent poles.
Oh yeah, the commercial that they had put in front of the Batman. Yeah.
Although none of those movies come out when they said they are going to.
Yeah, they're in trouble. It's almost like a daily battle between the DCEU and Star Wars of who is going to stumble the most. Because Star Wars is very much they're falling all over themselves too. And Kathleen Kennedy is I don't know how she still has a job.
Although I wasn't anti the old Ben Kenobi series.
No. I mean, the Kenobi series perhaps has lengthened her stay, I would say. But it wasn't great. It was good. It was not great.
Not everything's going to be a home run.
This was barely, I would call it a ground rule double. No, it's a down the line double. So it's not an impressive hit, but you got a double out of it and that's good.
Yeah.
Because to me, the Kenobi, and we're way off topic, but the Kenobi series was great anytime Ewan McGregor and Darth Vader were on the screen. It was great in those sequences. Everywhere else, man, it really suffered from a lot of the things the sequels suffered from, which is a thoughtlessness of story. Like, it seems to be that they're commanded by cool scenes and then they build the story backwards, right? Which sometimes it works-ish and sometimes it doesn't work at all. But yeah, I felt like the show was good, but not great.
My friend Taika, he said that he's not going to use any like well-established characters in his.
It's probably a good idea. Although I don't think he's your friend. He's probably Kane's friend.
He probably is.
They're from the same place.
Oh yeah, he's my friend too.
Anyways, that is not the only HBO Max Warner Brothers news. They were also planning a Flash series on HBO Max with Ezra Miller, and that is now done. They've said that that's gone.
Bring back Grant
Gustin.
Yeah.
I mean, that show is so corny, though.
HBO Max will HBO Max it.
But what I'm saying is you're used to seeing Grant Gustin in kind of this tongue-in-cheek version of the Flash. Like, and I wonder if that's a problem. Like, it's just going to seem weird if you put him in these real high stakes. My fear is you're going to put him in these real high stakes, dramatic DCEU situations, and you're going to notice just how, number one, we can say what we want about Ezra Miller, but he can command a scene. He has the acting chops, and this is like, I don't want to bust on Grant Gustin, but does he? Does he have the acting chops to really command a scene?
I'm not going to lie, like the Joss Whedon cut of now I'm blanking out on DC's.
Oh, Justice League?
Yeah, because
the Joss cut?
The Joss cut. Like I think was the one that shined the most in the Joss cut.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know who you get to replace him.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there is. But let's change it to happier news. Let's talk about some MCU casting news. This came out this last week, and immediately I probably had a smile on this whole day as Brett Goldstein of the show Ted Lasso. He plays what's the character he plays in Ted Lasso? Do you remember?
Roy
Kent. Mm-hmm. Roy Kent.
We can't do the whole song.
No, we can't. But he has been cast. This is, of course, not confirmed by Marvel, as probably wouldn't be. But it's heavily rumored he's been cast as Hercules in the MCU in the Marvel universe, which, man, I just think is perfect. Like literally Hercules in the Marvel universe is Roy Kent in Ted Lasso with muscles. I mean, he's belligerent. He drinks a lot. Like he's basically Thor without manners, right?
Yeah.
And that is the character of Hercules in the Marvel universe. And I think this is wonderful. I think it's a wonderful casting, and I'm praying that it's true, that it's real.
Well, I mean, the new Thor movie could be the big introduction.
Yeah. And that's where I'm assuming we're going to see him. And
Yeah.
But it seems like if that was the case, boy, they've kept that under wraps. Maybe in a post-credit.
Yeah. I could see that.
Please, if there is nothing that's been teased out in rumor that I want more to happen than Brett Goldstein as Hercules in the Marvel Universe. That has to happen. I'm so on board for that. I just want that to be true so badly. I think any fan of Ted Lasso, you don't even have to know anything about the character of Hercules in the comics, like to know that you want Brett Goldstein in the Marvel Universe.
I thought Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was Hercules.
No, and not Kevin Sorbo either.
Kevin Sorbo was my next one.
Kevin Sorbo is the evil professor in God's Not Dead. That's who he'll always be. He tries to get all the kiddos to believe there is no God.
Even though
he does it by teaching Descartes on the first day, which is a major philosophical 101 mistake if you're trying to disprove God.
Well, that's how Kevin Sorbo rolls.
In fact, if you're trying to disprove God at all, you probably want to stay away from philosophy in general.
Yeah.
8 times out of 10, that's going to go badly for you, as most philosophers prove that if you sit around and think long enough about life, you're going to be led back to the same conclusion. I don't know. Maybe my philosophy 101's a little rusty, but it seems like a lot of those old dudes who are sitting around thinking kind of led back to the same place, that there was a creator. But let's not go there. More casting news in the MCU. This one threw me for a loop. Andrew Garfield. Rumors are he's inked a multi-movie deal with the MCU. Andrew Garfield, who appeared as the Amazing Spider-Man in No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, as one of the 3 Spider-Men from one of the 2 from an alternate universe. Mm-hmm. It is unclear. This is amazing. It's unclear what the specifics are. This is.
He is Wolverine.
Just last week, Kevin Feige all but confirmed what most Marvel Comics fans knew already, that the big event in the Marvel Cinematic Universe will be based on Secret Wars. Everything's kind of leading this way. So my impulse is to say that the Secret Wars, which is basically the most recent version of Secret Wars in the Marvel Comics, was this giant event that involved several different versions or realities versions of our heroes and villains. So my guess is this is going to encompass more than one movie, and maybe that's why Andrew Garfield will appear again, because what they talked about a lot in the Multiverse of Madness, the convergences and all these things, this is the language that is of Secret Wars. And so I think that's what they're heading for, and maybe that's what they're going to do with Andrew Garfield. Certainly they wouldn't cast him as a completely other character in the MCU.
I already said Wolverine.
No, I didn't hear you the first time, and I would have said no quicker and more sternly.
And let's just ignore him for the second time.
Yeah, we'll continue to ignore that. He doesn't even know. He's like even skinnier and taller than Hugh Jackman was.
Well,
I demand a comic accurate Wolverine.
You're not getting it.
I'm not disappointed with Hugh Jackman. He was great. But now we have this perfect opportunity to get a more comic accurate Wolverine. I want a fire hydrant.
Although the Russo brothers want Chris Evans to play Wolverine.
But that doesn't make any sense.
I know, but he's played everyone else.
See, I'm so tired of Chris Evans being like cast as someone. He's been everything.
Well, and I'm tired of all the rumors of, Chris Evans would come back. And every time they interview me, he's like, well, I don't really want to, because it seems like it was this perfect thing and the run is done. And I'm just like, okay, Chris, well, thank you for your portrayal. You can go. And I don't need to see that Captain America again.
No. And you can't bring in somebody in a new character who's already been in the MCU, or are you referring to him coming back as Captain America?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, if they do the Secret Wars, he'll be back.
Right.
That's the whole, you'll see Robert Downey Jr. too, because that's the thing. If they do Secret Wars and they draw from the multiverse, you're going to see Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans again. That'll happen. Just like, it was rumored for a long time that we'd see the other Spider-Man. And it's just something that makes sense. So they won't miss that opportunity, because Kevin Feige will make that happen. But yeah, I don't know that he needs to be a major part of the storyline again. Like, he can show up, but now you've moved on, and I'm ready to see other characters. Because Captain America was always one of my favorite characters, but he's also kind of thin as far as character depth, because he's from a different generation. He's kind of a Boy Scout. Civil War is really the most interesting Cap story you can tell. And they didn't really tell that completely, but they kind of skimmed it, which is fine. But now you've used up the one story that makes Captain America the most interesting, with his kind of old fashioned ideals butting up against current day stuff. And just leave Cap out. Bring him back for cameos.
Old man Cap.
Some more of those videos where he comes and sets down a chair and says, "So, you got detention." Those are great. Keep doing those.
I think what they need to do is they need to offer him more parts, and he needs to sit down and say, "No, I don't think I will."
All right. If you've listened to our podcast and or have listened to any bits of we also have a radio show.
We do.
the Pop Culture Pastor radio show. If you've listened to that at all, you know that we have a love for Taco Bell. And Taco Bell came out, or they're trying out a new menu item in California. It's not everywhere yet, but it is a tostada, but instead of a shell, it's a giant Cheez-It.
No.
Are we okay with this?
No.
No?
I mean, if it's the Bell, I'll give it a shot.
I mean, I'll try it, but also I'm just kind of like, can't you just bring back the tostada? I liked the tostada. Why does everything have to be so complicated and crossover-y now?
And like Pizza Hut did this, and it was gross.
Are you talking about the Pizzone with the Cheez-Its?
Yeah. It was nasty.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't it be? How did you not know that was going to be nasty?
I love Cheez-Its. I love Pizzones.
Put on a pizza?
Yeah, it was a strange flavor. It was a really weird
did not
product.
work.
Yeah, I mean, like Justin said, I love Taco Bell so much that I would definitely try it. They're also going to put it in and wrap it up in a Crunchwrap Supreme as well. I mean, I would try that, but at the end of the day, it's just weird. Like, why a Cheez-It? Like,
I just rather eat Cheez-Its by themselves.
Well, yeah, the cheese flavor of a Cheez-It is very like sharp cheddarish, which is
sharp.
not what I want on my taco. It's just kind of strange. And the Crunchwrap Supreme, you actually put some of that nacho cheese. Those are two far different cheese flavors. I don't know. It doesn't work. Even looking at it, it doesn't work for me.
I'm afraid it might have some of that flavor of like the toasted cheddar chalupa. It looks good, sounds good, but does not taste good. It's a strange flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Taco Bell's done that before, where it looks good, sounds good, should work, doesn't work. Yeah. So I'm a little nervous about that. Here, we have to talk about this before we end the news segment, because we've waited a very long time to say anything about this movie. But let's talk about Indiana Jones 5 for a second, because it was making some headlines this week.
This was not the movie I was waiting for.
What movie did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to tease the Christian Bale rumors, but
What Christian Bale rumors?
that he's down to clown as the Dark Knight again.
No, if Chris Nolan's involved,
Yeah.
and neither one of them are coming back to Warner Brothers. Why would I talk about that? That is a non-story.
There's no way
way he was slamming Warner Brothers by even saying that.
They sold, so they're under new management.
There's no way. Christian Bale, dude, is notorious for being difficult to wrangle. That dude's not coming back to be Batman. Never.
If the money's right.
His kids had to talk him into doing the Marvel movie.
Again, if the kids and the money's right.
Okay, back to Indiana Jones. No, I was not going to talk about any future Batman movies. People are nervous about this movie.
What?
I know.
Why?
I know it sounds impossible, but most people are disappointed and are unhappy about the 79-year-old Harrison Ford coming back to play Indiana Jones. Some fans are even expecting it to be, quote, this is what I'm reading off of a Fandom Wire, quote, the disaster of the century. To which I would say, I'm sorry, did you not see Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Because that was a pretty century level disaster.
I was going to say, have they not heard about Morbin time?
It's Morbin time. Sony is beyond disaster at this point. So, they're just, it's so disaster, it's funny now.
Yes.
But Indiana Jones, this is beloved IP. Mm-hmm. Beloved IP.
There were people dressed at the Comic-Con we went to that were dressed exactly like Indiana Jones.
And
Still.
this is so beloved that many Indiana Jones fans just completely disregard Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I never watched it.
They
so-
don't even say it exists.
Well, I'm with them because I haven't seen it. So
It's just so, and it's not like, look, we love Harrison Ford. Who doesn't love Harrison Ford? But nobody wants to see old Indiana Jones. You want to see young Indiana Jones.
I assume with it being Harrison Ford, they will kill Indiana Jones at the end of the film.
I would posit that nobody wants to see that.
Well, I know, but they killed off Han, and he was excited for that.
Star Wars is a little different in my opinion, though. Indiana Jones is I would say he is a more beloved character than Han Solo. Han Solo is part of a beloved story and a beloved unit of characters, right? He might be the most beloved in Star Wars. He might be the character, but it's not comparable to Indiana Jones. In the story of Indiana Jones, he's it.
I don't know. I really like Sean Connery as the dad.
I don't know why you got to be so contrarian. Every time I say something, he's got to argue with me. Every time. Okay. Let's get back to the subject here. People expect that this movie is going to be a disaster. Frank Marshall, who is the director, he's the producer. He said about Academy Award winning director James Mangold, who is directing the new Indiana Jones movie. He said this quote, and it made a lot of headlines. He said, Indiana Jones is, quote, everything I think that everybody wants out of an Indiana Jones movie. It's a great story. It's a great character. And I think you're going to be very happy with this movie. I mean, okay. It's just, it can't be worse than Crystal Skull, can it?
So they're not making anything new. They're just hitting the highlights and then calling it good. Cashing in.
What?
That's the way I'm reading that quote.
Honestly, after Crystal Skull, the only way to win it, it's the War Games scenario. Just cue the War Games computer. The only way to win is not to play. So once you're playing, I think the best thing you can do is just go through the motions and don't give us a stinker. Hit all the old notes, and just don't make it a disaster.
We just watched this play out though with Jurassic World Dominion.
Okay, but yeah, make the story and the characters make sense. Like Jurassic Park doesn't even make sense.
I'm just saying, we saw it.
Okay.
We lived it.
Yeah. Although, I enjoyed my time in the theater for Jurassic World Dominion. It was a laughable movie, but laughable is entertaining. And I was entertained. I just don't know that I want to see 80-year-old Indiana Jones. Does that make me ageist?
Yes.
Does it? I feel kind of
joking.
bad about it because I like Harrison Ford.
I don't think it does. I think you just desire a young, I guess flashy, if you will, exciting, punching, hitting, whipping, version of Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I want a younger Indiana Jones. And they had an opportunity about 15 years ago before they made Crystal Skull. There were all these rumors that Chris Pratt was going to be the next Indiana Jones. Maybe it was 10 to 15 years ago. And there were all these rumors out there that Chris Pratt was going to take over the mantle. And this was when Chris Pratt was really he was just hitting his bigness. Now, I don't even think you could use Chris Pratt because everyone on Twitter hates him because he goes to church, I guess.
Yeah.
Now everyone hates Chris Pratt, and I'm still a little befuddled by all that.
So what, decade will this movie take place in?
It has to be in the 80s, doesn't it?
I was going to say it has to be the 70s or 80s. And so
it's just kind of bonkers. I don't want to see that. I want to see World War II era Indiana Jones.
He is going to be fighting the Soviets.
No, I'm out on that. That better not be it. That you just made me angry. I don't want that. And I'm a Cold War guy. Give me a good Red Dawn movie. Not the new Red Dawn. That movie was terrible.
Will Shia LaBeouf be back?
Gosh, I hope not. I hope not.
I don't know if we can cast him.
No, he might be uncastable too.
Yeah.
All right. It's time to go out to the lobby. We're going to go out to the lobby, answer some listener questions. Stay with us.
Welcome to the lobby.
All right, we're in the lobby. We just had a nice discussion that took place after we got to the lobby, but before we started recording.
Yeah.
Before we turned on the mics. You guys will never be privy to, but basically my wife made fun of me.
It was.
And now I'm in a bad mood.
It was a sick burn.
It was. I heard a bell because you got schooled.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're moving on. I was trying to tell a story. We're out here in the lobby just kicking it. And that's where we tell stories sometimes.
It's rude to talk during a movie.
It is rude to talk during the movie. Okay, this is the lobby. We're out here. We're supposed to be answering listener questions. And so I suggest that's what we do, even though my wife wants to take over my show.
Because I'm so hilarious.
And kick me out. She made fun of me, Cody.
It happens.
Well, wait a minute, though. I believe you were trying to make fun of someone else. You were just doing a really terrible job at it.
No. I brought up real concerns about her mental state. Real concerns.
You've gone too far. No, you were making fun of her.
Okay.
You just weren't doing it very well.
That's in your head. All right. We should talk about people's questions because that's why we're out here. Mm-hmm. You're not going to say anything? No. Thanks for the defense there, Cody, by the way. I thought we were friends.
That's how good of friends we are, that I'm not digging a deeper hole for you.
What? Not dig a hole. All right. Lauren Allen says, what is Danielle's M. Night Shyamalan story? And can she share it with us? Hold on, that's not all. Because then Jason Giesemann specifies, he adds on, he says, from her perspective, and then Dave can give the correct story. Yes, thank you, Jason. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Jason.
So I don't have any feedback on this because I wasn't here.
We're not friends anymore, Jason.
Lauren Allen actually dearly wants to know what your M. Night Shyamalan. We referenced this last week, and we decided we couldn't get into it at the time. And I made the remark, hey, if somebody really wants to hear this story, all you know is that Danielle was very proud of herself for a moment we had watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie in the theater some years ago. And they want to know more. I actually heard more than just Lauren. People randomly said, I want to hear Danielle's story. So Danielle.
It's such a great and wonderful,
take it away,
long story.
But set the scene. Set the scene.
It was a cool evening in 2000.
What are you looking at me for? I don't know.
2009?
When
did that movie come out? I don't even know.
M. Night Shyamalan's catalog.
If it's the movie we talked about last week after the podcast ended, it came out way before then.
Oh, 2004.
2004. We weren't even married yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is when we were dating.
Yeah. So picture it. Young couple goes out on a date.
My smoking hot soon-to-be wife.
Yes. trying to impress her boyfriend.
Listen, I was very impressed.
We had been in. Now there's some disagreement about how long we had been sitting. I don't think I even knew who M. Night Shyamalan was until we were going to see this movie, and you were like, "It's the Sixth Sense guy," and that was what that movie is called, right?
Yeah, the Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, I knew there was supposed to be a twist, but that was really all I knew.
He was the twist ending guy by this point. Yeah.
It's Night. That's how we pronounce it.
Night.
Yes.
Cody is just a flow podcast killer. We're flowing, we're moving, and then bam. Yes. Okay. So we go to see. You want to go ahead and say the name of the movie?
So it was The Village.
The Village.
The Village.
By M. Night Shyamalan. Because people say his name differently every time. I don't know how to say it.
Night.
It's not Night.
So there's some disagreement about how long we had been sitting in the movie.
I felt like it was about 15 to 20 minutes.
I thought it was more like 5 to 10.
It gets shorter from Danielle's perspective over the years.
30 seconds into the movie, I was like, it's modern day. It's modern day. I totally called the movie very early on.
It was, I will say, it was very early on. The movie from M. Night Shyamalan's The Village starts off, until you actually get wind of what the twist is going to be, it's a period piece. It's set in like sometime before, civilization, cities and things.
Like 1800s, you're assuming, right?
Yeah,
it's very colonial kind of,
Yeah. And she's very kind of matter-of-factly turns to me and says, it's present day. And I'm like, what? And she says, it's present day. I was like, okay, that's in your head, right? And then at the end of the movie, when the twist happens near the end of the movie,
It's almost the very end.
I will say I was very impressed. She did call that very early on.
And he proposed to me later that night.
That's when he knew.
Now,
She's the one.
I would listen. I will sit here and say she nailed it, and it was early, so early on, much earlier on that I feel like most people would have tried to guess anything. Like you're just getting into the story, and she told me this, but tell them the epilogue to this story. Let's talk about every M. Night Shyamalan movie we've watched since.
Yes. So it did kind of build up my self-confidence. Because ever since then, I've been like, I'm going to call it.
She's like 0 for 30, I think, on twist ending.
What was this terrible, terrible one with the trees?
The
Happening.
Oh my goodness, that movie was so ridiculous.
Although I did have a friend call it within 5 minutes.
What did you call? What even was that? Like it didn't. That one and the one with the pool in the hotel or the
Lady
apartment
in the
place?
Water?
Yeah. Like what even?
Oh, that
what
wasn't even a
was
twist
that?
ending. That
Yeah.
was just
It was
weird.
just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you tried to call the twist ending to Avatar The Last Airbender, there wasn't a twist ending. It was just a bad movie.
There wasn't even an ending. It's never ending in my brain. It just keeps being terrible all for eternity. No.
So bonus points if you know where I got the Moon Knight Shyamalan from. Because I didn't come out
I thought
with
you were
it.
just trying to be annoying. That's not even your idea.
No, it's part of pop culture, so I'm
Is
disappointed.
it like a Michael Scott-ism?
No, but Danielle should know it. Dave wouldn't because he wasn't watching TV during this time.
What?
There's a period of have I not talked to you about this before? There's a period of
How
my
do I
life.
not know this about you?
There's a period of my life where I do not really watch television, where I'm going to the gym a lot. and
2002.
it's like 2000-ish, 1999 to approximately 2000 and when we got married. That's pretty much my return to television.
I'm such a good influence on you. That's not true.
No, I
because
blew
when
out
we
my knee.
started dating, you had that was back when you would put a blank tape in the VCR, and you had like all of the what was that Superboy
Smallville.
show? Yeah.
Show
You had,
some respect.
You had it was a pretty awful show.
No!
But yes, it was. Yes, it was. It really was.
I have
Dave,
been
face reality.
wounded.
It's time to face reality. It was a bad show. It was a bad show.
I've only seen the first season. First season wasn't bad.
Then why haven't you seen the second season?
Can we just stop for a moment? You come on my podcast. On my podcast.
I think I need my own podcast
And
where
then
I
you-
get to be the star.
completely destroy one of my favorite shows.
Sorry. Oh, it's such a fabulous show.
Thank
Cody,
you.
you should really watch season 2.
I should.
Keep going.
So it was, to answer the question, it was the janitor from Scrubs.
Yes, okay.
You know what? Okay. Scrubs is a hilarious show.
Loved it.
My roommates in college watched it, and for some reason, they would always watch it without me. So I didn't get to see it all. So that's a show I should go back and rewatch.
Oh, yeah, because he's talking to JD and he's talking about bowling with Moon Knight, and he's like, it's not Moon Knight, and why would he be bowling here?
All right. So I think we have successfully heard the story. It was very impressive. She called it very shortly into the movie. And that's our M. Night Shyamalan story. Even if we don't remember it quite right or quite the same about how long into the movie it was.
I can compromise.
Even if it was,
we could say 12 minutes.
listen, it's still very impressive, even if it was 15 to 20 minutes.
I like to think it was an hour and 20 minutes into the movie.
And
was
she read
not.
an article in Entertainment Weekly and it gave it all away. She knew. It's the Danielle conspiracy. All right. Next question. This is from Justin John, who will be on later in the pod.
Oh, friend of the podcast.
Yeah. He says, for the rest of the year, you are only allowed to use one movie for all of your GIFs and memes on text and social media. What movie are you using?
Oof. TV show, I had it, but movie, that's very tough.
This answer occurred to me immediately,
Okay.
and it's The Big Lebowski. Period.
Okay. Since you stole
if
that
I had
one.
to go, if I had to go a year, Only using GIFs and memes from one movie. It's The Big Lebowski.
Okay. I'll go Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok? Yeah, that's a good one. You've got the Thor, is it meme? Several good ones there.
Yes, and I can even wish people happy birthday with it.
Yeah, I like Big Lebowski just because there's many moments in the movie that are good physical acting, facial acting to go along, and that is always makes for a good GIF
or GIF.
Well, let's not get into that now. I'm at my quota for arguments of the day, and I don't want to have that argument. Danielle, you can only use GIFs and memes for a whole year from one movie. What are you using?
Movie is hard. If it was a TV show, yeah, I'd be all over
Well,
it.
what would be your TV show? And this is so obvious. I don't even
Gilmore
need to
Girls.
ask.
Oh, I would have guessed
I would have said
Office.
Office. Yeah.
I mean, they would be up there together, but I'd go Gilmore Girls first.
Gilmore Girls would be a little wordy for GIFs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the only problem, but there's so many good coffee ones, and I use those a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
But
answer.
if I were going to do a movie, I think I'd go with Taken. Just because Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how come
whatever.
that movie takes place right before our GIF explosion in our civilization? Because there really should be more taken GIFs. We don't use I have a particular set of skills enough. We just don't, and I don't know why. Okay, next question. Danica Giesman from Wichita. She asks, you wake up and find yourself living in a movie/show, so a TV show. Where do you hope to be? Danielle, would you like to go first? Because I have a feeling this is going to be a repeat.
I'm going to just go, well, you know what? If I really had to choose one, that is tough.
I mean, come on. It's not Stars Hollow in Gilmore Girls.
It probably is Stars Hollow. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, when I watched Gilmore Girls the first time, I was like, I want to move to Connecticut. Like, for real. I want to move to Connecticut, to a small town where they do historical reenactments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy one. I've only ever caught pieces of Gilmore Girls. I've never sat and watched an episode. But even the pieces I catch, I am not immune to the charms of Stars Hollow.
It's very charming.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like a town I would like to live.
I also feel like since you've never seen it all, you should spend some more time with me because I've watched the entire series probably like
but
7 times.
now you've got our oldest daughter into it, so they watch it with you.
Yeah.
It's a fine show. I recognize the talent of the show and like the vocabulary and the delivery of the actors and actresses. I can see that it's a great show. It's just not made
Maybe
for,
you guys should watch
not made for dudes like me.
Gilmore Girls all the way through and then watch Smallville all the way through.
That's not fair. Gilmore Girls is probably a lot more episodes, isn't there? Actually,
don't
there's
know.
not. There's like 10 seasons of Smallville, but only about 3.5 of them are worth watching.
I watched a lot of Smallville with you.
You watched half of a season.
We used before we had kids. We watched a lot of TV. Now we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
No one has time for that.
No.
I
Cody, where are you going if you could be inside a movie or show?
I guess Pawnee, Indiana.
Oh, good choice.
And are you eating at Paunch Burger?
I am. And
Treat yourself.
hopefully I am running into Ron Swanson.
Oh man, if I could have a best friend from any show, it would be Ron Swanson, and it'd be like, we still never talk sometimes.
Yeah.
Best friend I ever had.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many great choices, but I'm going to go Pawnee and stick with TV show since we did the movie thing question before, 2 questions. So
Yeah. This is a question that has 2 different answers for me. Because for young Dave, this one is easy. It would be Astoria, Oregon, circa the mid 80s. And I would be in the world of the Goonies.
Oh, your house would be getting torn down.
I wanted to be a Goonie. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to have that group of friends and go on adventures.
Yeah, your house is getting torn down.
It didn't, though, at the end. Have you ever seen the movie?
I did see the movie, but you're living in fear of your house being torn down.
Well, to be a member of the Goondocks, to be a citizen of the Goondocks is to have that fear, I guess.
It is.
Gentrification, man. It's a real problem. As an older person, though, I think, oh man, it's so tough because there's so many.
Dave's going to say Tatooine.
No. Are you kidding? Tatooine's terrible. I wouldn't want to live anywhere in Star Wars. Star Trek. I mean, the Starship Enterprise from Next Generation alone is a great place to want to maybe exist because of just the food replicators. just to go up and tell the computer what kind of food you want and from when and where, and it could just give it to you. I mean, that's pretty amazing. But too much unknown. You're off in the unknown exploring, and that can get dangerous. So
yeah,
I'm not down with that. I mean, Smallville. I do like Smallville. I like the idea.
You basically live in Smallville, don't you?
Huh?
Isn't Smallville like
We kind of do. We're a small town in Kansas.
Smallville in Kansas?
Maybe our son is Superboy, and I can be Pa Kent. I can give wisdom and
Pa,
and have a heart attack when he's a young teenager.
Yeah, let's not do that.
We are not going to do that version.
Yeah,
you
let's
will
not.
get sucked up in a tornado.
No, not the Man of Steel version. That was dumb.
When he's in his early 20s.
He can literally move fast enough that nobody would see him. And Paul's like, Kevin Costner's like, no, don't do it. Don't expose yourself. I got this. No, you don't, Pa Kent. You are going to die.
But yet he's been in everything Superman's been in since.
Has he?
Yeah, because Superman either is having delusions or
or a flashback.
Like he's on the mountain stacking rocks for kicks and giggles.
I mean, every movie since then has been straight garbage. So that's not shocking. Okay. That's good. I think that's a good lobby segment for today. If you gave us a question this week, don't worry. It's on the list. We're going to get to it. Danielle, my lovely wife, my smoking hot wife, thank you for coming and telling your story. Like, we're a pastor. I'm supposed to say that about you, right?
Well, only because you're a youth pastor.
And I get extra points because I really believe it.
Oh, you're sweet.
Thank you.
See, you
Points for Dave. Would you like to say something about your wife? Maybe she'll hear this.
She's also smoking hot and just the nicest lady around town.
Very nice. Very good.
I'll throw in all the sentiment.
Very good. All right, we are going to head back into the main area and get ready for the main subject of the pod. We'll be right back. Phew, okay. We're back. We're back from the lobby. That was tense. It was very tense.
You got roasted.
Not now. Not here, not now. Cody, my wife was here, and if I'm going to get roasted, I like that it would be by my wife. She's the only one who's allowed to roast me like that.
You hurt the ones the most that you love. So
everyone's pretty happy now. I feel like all the listeners will be happy. They got to hear the M. Night Shyamalan Danielle story.
It was a classic.
It is a classic. How she called the village within some amount of minutes at the beginning of the movie.
I'm choosing to go with the conspiracy theory of like an hour and 20 minutes into it.
No, it wasn't that. And this was back before like there were all the spoilery websites and videos and YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were seeing it in the theater with no idea what the movie was going to be about. So it was legit. She called it like crazy. All right, we're back. We're in the studio. Dave, Cody, Cain, Justin, geeks of the round table are in place. It's time for us to talk about summer movies. And I'm just going to start it off here with Cody. When I say summer movie, what do you think of?
Like, you want a movie I think of, or you want what makes a summer movie?
Well, in your opinion, when I define what a summer movie is.
Okay, so for me, a summer movie has to have some iconic themes of summer, at least. Mm-hmm. Like, if there's baseball in it, you got me. If there's swimming, if there's like the 4th of July, something.
Summer, it has to take place in
the
summer.
Yes, essentially.
That's what I hear you saying.
You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. Okay. And that's it. It's all situational for you.
Yes.
It's all about context and setting.
So if it's in the dead of winter, no. No, no, no.
Yeah, I agree. I concur. Cain, now maybe we should do Justin first. Let's come back to Cain last because Cain's interesting. Let's go to Justin first. Justin,
You're not interesting.
Wow. Never have I been so verbally abused.
Justin is the Sir Percy of the Geeks of the Round Table. Justin, when I say summer movie, what do you think of?
The first theme that pops into my head is movies beginning where they're like, "Hey, tomorrow's the last day of school," or you're like a week away or something. But like they're literally living for one thing, and that it just ushers it in.
Dazed and Confused comes to my mind immediately because you literally start on the last day of school. That's where you're at.
Yeah.
What are other movies where it's the beginning of the movie's the last day of school before the summer? I know there's more.
That's how Disney's A Goofy Movie starts.
It is.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Deep cut.
That is easily one of my favorites. That movie's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, again, what I hear you saying is it's situational and contextual. It's about the setting. Mm-hmm. It has to be because man, that last day of school, that was summer to us as kids. Like, this is the official start of summer. And there's a lot to that, I think. Let's go to Cain because now Cain is going to be interesting because Cain is from New Zealand. And the summer movie as put out by Hollywood is not going to be a summer movie to you. It's going to be a winter movie.
Yeah. It's all kind of a little bit backwards and a little bit weird. Yeah.
So I'm very curious to the answer to this question. Cain, when I say summer movie, what pops into your head? What do you think of?
Surfing, beaches, Christmas.
Yeah, right?
But the New Zealand and Australia Christmas. So it's like where everybody's off work and school. And
so it's like a big, here's my question. Do you have the big break?
We do, but it's not as big. Over here, you get like almost 3 months off. It's like what on earth? Whereas in New Zealand, you'd get kind of like a month and a half, so half the time.
Yeah.
So the big summer break isn't really as big a deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're hanging out for the big inverted quotes big break of. Sort of December, January, when you're in school. So you in school beginning of December, and then early December, and then you go back to school very end of January.
Yeah. So what? I guess the next question, and you can go first on this one, Cain, is what movies do you think of when I say summer movies? It seems like if yours like surfing and beach, like Jaws, right? Is that one?
Yeah, I guess.
That's considered a summer movie here in the States. That's a big one.
Yeah.
In fact, Jaws is like regarded as one of the early summer blockbuster type movies.
Mm. I mean, we kind of see some of the American culture with the whole summer break, summer vacation. But growing up in New Zealand, you don't really see we don't really get the context of it. Like we don't. I never realized until I actually moved over here and had kids in school that are approaching or now in the big long summer break. Mm-hmm. I never realized it was so long.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I just thought it was just like what we had in New Zealand, but it was just, at a different time of year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because I think as we explore the definition of what is a summer movie, Jaws is like maybe one of those movies that combines a lot of those factors, which is why I think it's regarded as one of the first summer blockbuster movies, is that you have the contextual stuff, the setting. It's summer. It's a beach resort town in New England. You have all that. And then it literally is a summer blockbuster movie. It comes out in the summer. It does big business. It's what some people would call a popcorn film where you're going to be thrilled. It's a movie that's thrilling. It's not there to win Oscars, things like that. We discussed some of the really contextual things, and like the setting really matters. The like like Justin said, the going into the summer, you know, like the last day of school sets up like what the feeling of a summer movie for me in a lot of ways is. Are there particular movies that speak to you in this way, or just because you have a weird context that you're living in, does it not really land with you like that?
Yeah, I think you're right. It doesn't really land like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't kind of think of seasonal movies as such. It's just another movie coming out of Hollywood that just happens to be set in the summer. I don't instantly go, well, okay, it's the summer, it's last day of school and going into summer, this big long break, and it's super, super hot, because it doesn't get super hot in New Zealand.
Here's what's going to happen, Cain, and we're going to publish this on our social media. I'm going to come up with a list of the movies we're about to talk about. We're going to devise a list, and we're all going to Cain's house to have a marathon, a summer movie marathon.
Yeah,
we're
sounds
gonna
good.
We're going to pick a couple nights and a weekend, and we're just going to go through all these. And we're going to let you have the American summer you were denied as a New Zealander.
Yes,
I knew you'd be excited. Justin, when you think of summer movies, what are your favorites?
I'm going to go off the beaten path just a little bit, because I feel like there's a couple of movies that I thought of that are pretty typical picks. One of the movies I really love, and I'm kind of just going back to my childhood, is Heavyweights.
Wow, yeah, summer camp.
One of Ben Stiller's first movies. You've got other people in there like, Kenan Thompson and Sean Weiss, and there's some big names in there, but just all about that. Hey, school's ending. I guess that is an end of school one. I forget. Like, they run out of school and there's just papers flying everywhere, and Jerry finds out that he's going to camp, but it's a fat camp.
Yeah,
and but then when he gets there, like, it sounds really, really cool, and then they find out they had to sell the camp. Serious
question: can they make Heavyweights now?
No way.
No,
like, especially not towards the end when it gets kidnappy and kind of torture-esque.
Oh, I forgot about that
it's
part.
pretty wild.
Yeah, we used to have a lot of movies. Like, listen, I can talk about this, so don't out me on Twitter. I can talk about this because I am overweight. I am a large American. But yeah, they used to make there was a whole theme of movies. Remember the Fat Boys had a movie where they were nurses, they were orderlies. Like, the Fat Boys were an old rap group, and they were all, I mean, obviously they weren't ashamed. They called themselves the Fat Boys. But there was a whole grade and theme of movie, and a lot of them centered around like fat camp. That's what it was called. Don't send me emails. Yeah. That's what it was called back in the 80s. Yeah. But yeah, so Heavyweights had this summer camp theme, which is a big summer thing, obviously.
Yeah.
There's the summer camp theme where there's camp love. I just got back from camp as a youth pastor. Oh man, even the Christian kids, they're so in love with somebody.
Yeah.
By the end of the week, oh my goodness, they're just crushing.
They'll just never find another.
Yeah, it's brutal. What else? Any other movies?
Say another one that I like, that I feel like summer is kind of the crux of the movie, is Rookie of the Year. So Rookie of the Year, Henry Rowan Gardner. I said it right, as it's said wrong multiple times in the movie. Henry Rowan Gardner, they're on the cusp of summer, and he slips on a baseball and just wrecks his entire arm, and it's going to take the entire summer to heal. So he's not going to be able to have fun all summer long. And then that's the crux, because when it heals extra tight to where he's able to throw just ridiculously fast pitches. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they still do fun stuff, like they go boating, and there's a lot of summer themes of going to the pool and stuff, but like it all hinges on the beginning of that movie being Henry can't enjoy his summer, and look what happened because of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the interesting thing is Rookie of the Year was not one I'd thought of, but it has a lot of these themes. So it has obviously baseball, which that's a summer sport here. And so that screams summer to us. It's got kids. He's a kid. He's looking forward to summer break. He wants to be good at baseball. He's not. And then he breaks his arm. And then all of a sudden, it heals too tight. He's thrust into some situation because, of things that couldn't possibly happen. I don't think that's a thing when your ligaments heal up tight and make you throw the ball really fast.
If only.
It's real.
Any other ones there, Justin, that you think of when you think summer movies?
Let me see. Let me look at my list here. I did make a little list,
All right. Well, we'll come back to you. Cody?
Okay, I've been waiting.
Oh,
I have my list.
all right.
Okay, so top of the list. Sandlot.
Okay. Yeah. I was hoping we would get to this because that would be on my list too.
Love the Sandlot.
That was the obvious one.
It was the obvious one. Oh my goodness,
It's got the themes.
it's a coming
Kids,
of age movie. for
Coming of
kids.
age. That was the phrase I was looking
Yes.
for. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, and takes place in the heat of summer. I mean, literally, they're dying from the heat. They have to go to the swimming pool.
Yeah. You got kids, you got heat, you got baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got coming of age. These are massive summer themes. Are you taking notes, Cain? You should be taking notes.
This one has to be on the marathon. That's all we
Yeah.
got to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandlot. Have you seen the Sandlot, Cain?
It's on.
Oh my goodness. Cain has not seen the Sandlot. This is an ultimate summer movie,
my
in my
goodness.
opinion.
Yeah.
I clearly need to be educated.
Okay, so it would be on my Mount Rushmore of summer movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, you don't know anything about Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
He has no idea who Benny the Jet Rodriguez is.
Nope.
The legend of Benny the Jet.
Yeah,
Slayed the beast.
he did.
Okay. All right. I cannot wait to watch this movie.
Okay, so we're watching that one for sure. The next one I'll list, I'll go off the beaten path since I took the obvious one. Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
The first one is a camp movie.
Again, you've got summer camp. You've got teenagers.
You got Kevin Bacon.
You've got someone trying to murder them, which in the 80s, as we've seen with Stranger Things, which emulates like the 80s summer movie, that is a huge, I don't know why. We were
Yeah.
just bloodthirsty back in the 80s. We wanted to see teenagers being hunted. That was what we wanted.
Especially Kevin Bacon. I don't know why, but yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great example. It Camp Crystal Lake. That's
Yeah.
where it all starts in the Friday the 13th series.
Spoiler, it's the mother.
Well, only in the first one.
Yeah, which is so weird.
Then it gets a little crazy, and we don't have time to break down the Friday the 13th series because it gets really crazy.
Okay, and then I'll spout off two really quick because I know you probably have some.
Oh, yeah. Take your time. We got plenty of time.
Okay, so Vacation.
National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
another ultimate summer movie.
Yeah, they go on summer or they go on their vacation. They go to the Grand Canyon.
Why is that movie so relatable?
Oh,
Every family vacation anyone has ever been on seems like it's National Lampoon's Vacation because everything goes wrong.
yeah.
Always. You have car problems. You know, your aunt dies in the car.
Those
Christy
sorts of
Brinkley
things.
keeps pulling up beside you, in a Ferrari. Yeah, it's just commonplace.
Yes. So that one is on my list. And then last but not least, and I imagine this one's on your list, but I could be completely wrong. Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. Now, so this one, you've got like real coming of age material here. This is like super coming of age style movie. Maybe like when you talk about that genre, just that particular thing, this might be the movie. Like,
And
there are a lot of movies that are modeled off of the Stand By Me template.
literally, it is a Stephen King book.
And Stranger Things, again, takes a lot of cues from Stand By Me.
And so, yeah, oh man, such a great movie. And you have like the cast all grows up to be something and somebody. So,
Sandlot would have been one I mentioned pretty early.
oh yeah,
Sandlot, any time you have these group of kids and they're a unit and sometimes they have an adventure. That is really summery to me. Goonies is a movie to me that always makes me think of summer because it's like the same thing. It's a bunch of kids hanging out. They go on adventures. Why? Well, we could have told you back in the 80s because we were bored. But then that's never a part of the movie, although it is a part of Goonies. Remember, the movie literally starts with Mike is like, ugh, I'm so bored. Nothing ever happens here.
You know what's going to really break your heart is I've never seen Goonies.
What?
So that's got to be at the top of the list.
I mean, that is like a time capsule to the 80s. Like, that's definitely got to be on the list. Although it's one of my favorite movies. I don't know that it completely holds up.
And then we had to watch like the director's extended cut of the Goonies.
But it is definitely a time capsule movie, man. Like, that captures the essence of the 80s.
Yeah.
So much in that movie. So Goonies would be something I feel right away. Movies, blockbuster movies that come to mind, like the popcorn flick. Really, I don't think about it as much in the 80s as I do as that becoming a thing in the 90s. Independence Day is like the first huge event movie I remember going to in the theater. That was just an event. It was a popcorn summer movie. It's literally named after the holiday in the summer. And it was like, okay, I'm going to see a movie that I'm not going to be wowed by technically. This isn't a movie where I'm going to see Oscar-worthy performances. I'm just looking to be highly entertained in a goofy way that still has stakes. And so Independence Day is like, if you were making a cookie cutter template for how to make a summer movie, Independence Day is up there as like, okay, make me something in the style of Independence Day. Lots of recognizable actors and actresses in a tense, crazy, wild situation. Yeah, I'm here for that. Sci-fi definitely kind of works into that genre in that way. The bigger the event on the earth, the more summery it feels. And Independence Day, it doesn't get much bigger. We literally get invaded by aliens. They blow up the White House. Spoilers. I don't want to ruin the movie for anybody. We blow up Houston with a nuke. Very sad.
Yeah.
We do that to ourselves, though.
It happens.
Yeah, no one liked Houston anyways. Sorry, Houston. If I'm going like underneath the radar, there is a movie that I really, really dearly love that I felt like didn't get enough attention, didn't get the attention it deserved. It was a movie that came out in 2013 called The Way, Way Back. Have you guys heard of this?
Nope.
Okay, who's in it?
Okay, so Liam James plays Duncan, who's an awkward teen who must spend the summer at a beach house with his mother, Toni Collette.
Oh, okay.
Oscar winner.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend, her new boyfriend, so she's a single mom, but she has a boyfriend played by Steve Carell.
Oh, okay.
And this is very interesting.
That's why it sounds familiar.
Because he kind of plays the guy you don't like, which is different than you're used to seeing Steve Carell. Even in The Office, where he's agonizingly uncouth in a lot of ways, you still like him. Right?
Even after the Scott's Tots episode.
But in this movie, he's like the soon-to-be stepdad who the kid really doesn't like him. He doesn't like the kid, and you can just feel it. Maybe this movie's endearing to me because I had a tough step family situation growing up. Like if you've been in a step family situation, boy, you feel this movie. How hard that is, because like sometimes it's just hard. It's just a hard situation for human beings to be in. But Steve Carell's in it, and he has a little sister, and then he basically gets a job. This is a big summer movie theme. Teen goes on summer vacation, gets job.
Oh, yeah.
And in this case, it's at a water park. So that's also very 80s, the water park. And his boss is played by Sam Rockwell, who
love Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I already love Sam Rockwell, and I'm just going to say it. This is his best role ever. He is amazing in this movie. He's the best part of this movie. This movie is fantastic. It's got it all. It's got summer vacation. It's got the teenager who feels wayward. He's got the bad stepfamily situation. He gets a job at a park.
Oh yeah.
Like this feels like there's a documentary out there called Class Action Park that was on HBO about a real place called Action Park in New Jersey that was like kids died at.
Yeah.
But if you watch the documentary, even though it's a terrible place, like you get this real summer feeling. Like there's all these older people like feeling nostalgic about this place. Like we really loved our summers there, even though randomly a kid would die every once in a while on these very dangerous attractions. And so this gives me that feeling that I got when I was watching that documentary of these like theme parks. Another more recent movie, Adventureland.
Yeah, I was going to say Adventureland, Caddyshack.
Summer
You get a summer job.
Summer job. Yeah, right. You're caddying.
Yeah.
No bare feet. Not that one. No fighting. All right. If you don't know the Caddyshack movie, you're going to be kind of lost on that one. But yeah, The Way Back is excellent. I didn't finish the summary. The youth steals away to a water park, gets a job that will help him stay off his stepdad's radar. As Duncan tends to the slides and pools of the aging park, he finds a father figure in wisecracking park manager Owen, played by Sam Rockwell, at a time when he desperately needs one. Let me tell you, this hits all of the Dave buttons. I'm as a kid growing up without a father figure, because my parents were divorced. I didn't get to live with my dad. And then the men in my life just weren't up to that challenge. And like, I don't have ill will. Like I said, step families are hard. But man, this hits me in all the feels. This movie does. And it's fantastic. Go watch The Way Back. I don't even know where it's streaming, but you should definitely go watch it. This has to be on the list.
Hey, this says The Way Back is watchable on Amazon Prime.
And it's on HBO Max.
Oh, well then.
I might watch it tonight.
I have 2 ways to watch it. So
yeah, this is a great movie. Great movie. And it's under the radar. So I wanted to bring that one up. Let's just rapid fire through some here.
The last song.
What's
joking.
What's that? That better not have Miley Cyrus in it.
It does. It's the Nicholas.
How dare you?
I mean, I just don't know why you hate me. Why do you hate me, Cody? We're having a very serious discussion about movies we love.
Oh,
Cody's just got to be a thorn in my side.
Someone out there will say that is like the best Nicholas Sparks movie, and you're welcome. That someone.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't watch enough Nicholas Sparks movies to be able to have an opinion. Grease. What about Grease?
No, that is not a summer movie.
What?
Summer Lovin'.
Literally starts off with a song called Summer Lovin'.
Summer
And
Lovin'.
guess when it happens?
I know when it happens.
Day
but
of school.
The whole movie is wrapped around the conceit of what happened over the summer.
But yet it was first day of school, and the movie takes place throughout the school year.
It doesn't have to take place in the summer to be a summer movie. Grease is a summer movie.
It isn't. Grease 2 is, because they have the whole luau and beach and like the flying,
I am so upset with you right now.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No, Grease 2 sucks.
Well,
nobody likes Grease 2.
It's more of a summer movie than the first one.
I just want to throw something at you right now.
Dave, sit down.
Okay.
Sit down. It's okay.
I need some more Mountain Dew.
Say, I have one that I don't think it's like cinematic brilliance, but I think it hits every ounce of summer that could possibly be. Adam Sandler's Grown Ups.
Yeah, that works great.
It is literally a movie about how kids know nothing about the goods of summer. And it's like, you know what? Forget this stuff. We're going to do all the good stuff.
Is like the summer as we knew it, is that a lost thing? Is that a lost thing?
Yeah, I think so.
To today's kids.
Like
my kids, they like swimming, but they would just as soon rather be inside playing Xbox.
Unless you are besties with Adam Sandler, you don't know about it.
That's a good one. I hadn't thought about grown-ups. We mentioned Jaws. How about this one? Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, Dirty Dancing
and
takes
it's
place
dirty.
at a resort in the Catskills. Families on summer vacation.
Yep.
And of course, we're not fancy enough to have ever been vacationing in the Catskills, but this was a summer movie. My stepsisters wore out the tape of this movie.
Someone tried to put Baby in the corner.
Yeah. I mean, it's got some heavy themes in it, but
It
also has Patrick Swayze. And I have immense respect for the Swayze.
Yes.
We mentioned Caddyshack, Stand By Me, Weekend at Bernie's, which we talked about a few weeks back. That's kind of a summer movie. A lot of beach scenes in that movie. Adventureland, we talked about, has a lot of those same themes, the coming of age, the job at the theme park. Why is the job at the theme park such a major teenage theme back in the 80s?
I wish I worked at a theme park.
Me too. Camp is a big, another big one. Wet, Hot American Summer takes place at a camp. A lot of people dig that movie.
Parent Trap.
Parent Trap was
Yeah.
so that's
It's all about camp.
Yeah, you're going a little bit older there.
Yeah.
Because there's two versions. Now, my mom grew
Right.
up with the Parent Trap, which the old version with Haley Mills.
Yes.
The newer version had Lindsay Lohan.
Yep.
And I believe I said her name right.
You did.
I did.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Goonies, coming of age, group of friends, go on an adventure. Independence Day, we talked about. Blockbuster. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes. Because it takes place the following summer.
It's interesting. The horror genre in the 80s is very much summer teen relatable. And then these movies starting with Scream and then I Know What You Did Last Summer, they kind of make fun of that genre.
They do.
But they do it in a way that still has teenagers being hunted.
Very much so.
Except they're making fun of us.
Poor
and-
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
I think it just has
he's
to
all right.
do. I mean, I think it has to do with something of like how much you're looking forward to the summer and how much is enjoyable about it, and then it's the complete contrast. You know, it's like maybe that's the appeal. It's like it's everything you never thought it would be. You know, it's like there's horror, there's kidnapping, there's killings. You don't associate any of that with summer.
Although,
But it
all the like crime rates for like higher violence crimes go sky high in the summer.
this is true.
Yeah. I got jumped on my 16th birthday, July 25th, heat of the summer. I got jumped by one dude I kind of knew. The other two I didn't know. They were total strangers. The dude I knew, I didn't know him well enough for him to have any ill will towards me. It was just random. They just decided they were going to attack me or punch me. Although they only punched me a couple times, then ran off. And then when the police came, I didn't want to press charges, but I asked the police, I was like, what? And it just seemed so weird. I just didn't know him. And they were like, actually, yeah, this is pretty normal. Cause it was like 100 degrees that day.
Yeah.
And he said, when it gets real hot, this happens. It's a human thing. Yeah, so we
is.
just, we want to punch people.
There-
Apparently when it gets really hot.
There's a false correlation that the more ice cream sales there are, the higher the murder rate.
That's correlation, not causation.
Yeah, or causation. Yeah, false
Yeah.
causation. That it just happens that during the heat of summer, murder rate and ice cream buying rate goes up.
I have a hard time with dairy. Just makes me all grouchy. Dazed and Confused. We
That's
mentioned
classic.
that earlier. It starts off on the last day of school. It's very 70s, but it was made in 1993. But it really captures like my parents' generation, which I kind of loved because I kind of loved like picking my parents' brain on this movie and them being like, oh yeah, it was all about the cars and the parties and other things that teenagers in the 70s like to do.
Don't do them.
Yeah, I do not condone it, but it is what it is. I feel like I'm missing some. We mentioned The Sandlot. We mentioned Dr. Doolittle's on this list.
Gross.
Yeah, is that like I don't even know what to say about that movie.
That's not a summer must watch.
Bull Durham, pretty much any baseball movie.
I was going to say
Ghostbusters is like a summer blockbuster movie. It doesn't really scream summer to me, but it is in the sense that it was a blockbuster in the summer. Let's see. Daddy Daycare is on here. These people really liked Eddie Murphy, apparently. The Great Outdoors was one.
That is a great movie.
Okay, so you got vacation, summer vacation to a cabin. You're going camping. It's a family movie, like it's a bonding. The dad, John Candy, really wants his family to bond. It's got this is a summer plot, a subplot in a summer movie. The teen from the city, the boy from the city, who falls in love with the small towny girl.
Yeah.
And then the tension of he has to go home eventually. That's a big summer movie trope.
Yeah. Summer lovin'.
But really, there's Uncle Buck, another John Candy movie. Risky Business, Tom Cruise, one of his early big movies. Little Miss Sunshine, Family Trip. Yeah, these are all movies that have like these kind of vibes in it. But I think we mentioned the big ones.
So one that we wouldn't think of, and it takes place towards the end of school, because then they go to a Dodgers game at the very end of the movie. Better Off Dead.
Oh,
They're in the mountains, so it really messes with you.
Better Off Dead. I went looking to watch this with my oldest kids the other night. You can't find it anywhere. It's not streaming anywhere. You can't even find it on Prime.
I think I have a DVD.
Oh, okay. I might need to borrow this. Better Off Dead is one of the first movies I remember seeing with an adult John Cusack. Like he'd been kind of like the young guy, a teenager in Weird Science, or not Weird Science, 16 Candles. He'd been the younger guy in some of those John Hughes movies, but Better Off Dead is like his first starring vehicle I remember seeing him in. It's a bonkers movie.
It is.
It's a funny movie, but it's bonkers. It's kind of the absurdist humor. And it's got the themes, right? So lost love. His girlfriend breaks up with him on the last day of school, going into the summer. He's trying to make the ski team.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's skiing, but put any sport you want to in there.
Yes.
If you don't live in the mountains to make it, not weird. So it's got lost love, and it's got the new love interest that it takes him absurdly long time to realize is much better than the old one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In this case, it's the exchange student. Yeah. Another big summer trope. Oh yeah. That movie's got a lot of it.
And I think Say Anything takes place towards the end of the school year going into the summer.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have John Cusack with his boombox outside your window.
Yeah. Pretty much any baseball movie. We've already kind of went over that.
Would Ferris Bueller count as like a summer blockbuster? Or
Man,
I mean,
I'd have to.
'cause it's not really during the summer.
No, in fact, the school day plays
Yeah, it's a
big
major part of it.
It is near the end of the school year. That's the big conceit of it because he's getting ready to graduate, and the big tension in the movie with the principal is that he's trying to hold him back by proving he's skipping
Right.
school. And so you're to understand that it's very close to the summer, but it's not quite summer. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider that.
I thought I'd take a shot.
A summer movie, but it's really close.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
It's really close. Okay. Any other ones?
Does Jurassic Park make the list?
No.
It's on the beach.
No.
And the kids are out of school.
It's a summer blockbuster. That's as close as I'll get for it.
Like, I'd put it up there with Jaws.
Yeah. Okay. If we're just classifying it as a popcorn movie, a summer popcorn flick,
And a hurricane's blowing in summer months.
no,
Summer
that's
months.
not a thing. It's more in the fall. Isn't that hurricane season?
It starts in July and August. And so
I'll allow it.
I'm going with it.
All right. What are some of your favorite summer movies? We've talked about all ours. We need to add to the list for Cain. But I need to talk to Sam. We need to go to the geek phone. Cody, to the geek phone.
Geek Phone.
All right. We're here on the geek phone with Sam. Sam, what's up? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. It is the start of summer, even though it feels like it premiered about a few weeks ago. Speaking of which, I hear we're doing something about summer blockbusters, I presume.
Yeah, just what we're not even going to narrow it down to that. What do you think, Sam, when I say summer movie? What pops in your head?
Well, I think of a big budget film, a blockbuster film, one that has been released in theaters to promote a large audience, so to speak. Yeah. You see, the summers are for blockbusters, while the holidays are for the Oscars, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is a place for there. One of the blockbuster. There was always that one movie growing up. When you were a kid, you're growing up, and there seems to be that big summer movie. And I know there's lots of them, but there was always one that kind of stood above the rest. I can remember the first time I really, really thought, man, this is a summer blockbuster movie, and this is what it's all about, was actually Independence Day. That was just one of those movies because it was silly, and you knew it was silly, but it was still kind of fun.
Yes, it's bonkers and silly, but it's fun all the same. You don't have to have realism to make a blockbuster success in a film.
Right.
They don't really aim for that. They aim for the grandiose, the epic scale, the expanse of the scene, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are your favorite summer blockbusters, Sam?
Oh, where do I begin? That is a tough one. Well, I suppose one of my favorite summer blockbusters, as well as my first experience in the movie theater, was The Lion King, so to speak. I will never forget that feeling I had when I first entered that movie theater and being immersed into this world. And it's probably a reason why it's one of those films I will never in a million years get tired of watching.
Yeah.
Because when you watch something on a screen, when it comes to watching a big film in a movie theater, you will never in a million years get that same kind of experience on a TV or with your phone or a computer or something like that.
Yeah,
that idea, just to be in that theater and immerse yourself with all the sights and sounds of a blockbuster film, nothing compares to that feeling. Nothing.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, like, your first movie you remember going to, because I'd be interested to know how many people remember the first theater movie they went to, probably when they were very young, and what the percentages of that being like the big summer blockbuster movie, because that seems like the kind your parents would take you to. So for me, it was Goonies. That was the first movie I saw in the theater. And my dad took me, and I was very young. But that movie, just like you said with The Lion King, I never get tired of that movie. I can watch it over and over and over again.
Yes. Other films I never get tired of filming, speaking of which, are films such as Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And Moulin Rouge and Annie. But I'm getting a little bit too art housey and artsy on this one. We're talking about summer blockbusters, so to speak.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to actually make a statement here about what I think makes a blockbuster success, especially with summer films. One, it's a sequel, an adaptation, a prequel, a spinoff, or something like that is in relation to something bigger than itself. Two, it's the background, such as from the creators of, or from the director of, or starring these people, or from the studio that brought you, or something like that. The background is really what lures the audience. And three, which is the rarer of these, is that the format of it all, such as Blair Witch or Paranormal Activity or Cloverfield or Avatar, District 9, or the new Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's something no one has ever seen or experienced before in a film. It's its own unique, untethered thing.
Yeah, that I would agree with that last one. I hadn't thought about it that way, Sam, but you're absolutely right. When Blair Witch came out, that was something that really scared people, and it was really interesting, and it was kind of a fascination.
But if no one had ever seen something like that before.
If you were to go back and you'd never seen it, and you watched it now, you'd think it was kind of old hat because it spawned many copycats.
Yes, but back then it was unheard of. No one had ever even thought about it before. And it was also the first time the internet was the sole medium for marketing this film.
Yeah.
So it was not just with its film itself, but the marketing and how clever marketing in general.
Mm-hmm. And marketing kind of goes along with summer, right?
Yes,
summer
marketing is
really marketed.
Yeah, summer is a big magnet for marketing.
Yeah. What are there any you're looking forward to this summer, Sam?
Well, there are a few, not saying that there are a lot this year, but surprisingly, there aren't so many this year that I'm looking forward to as I was last year. However, I am fascinated by, of course, the new Thor: Love and Thunder film coming out. And also there are a few obscure ones that I may not remember precisely their names, but I do know that they look like a fun film to check out. There are sweet ones. And also, I saw recently the new Elvis film as well, which I think was beautifully done by, of course, Baz Luhrmann, and you would expect that from him and his work. Plus, the guy who played Elvis was just Oscar worthy for his role. But anyway, when I look back at the films premiering now upcoming, there aren't really a lot to choose from for me. Maybe that's probably because that's just my taste. But there are a lot of times when you come in to see a film and it's not going to be what you thought it was going to be in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those are, it feels like the volume of movies is lower than usual, but that might still be a product of the pandemic.
Yes.
But yeah, like you, I'm looking forward to Thor a lot, but we're getting ready to talk about the movies we're looking forward to this summer coming up. So I'll let you go, Sam, and then we'll talk to you again next week, buddy.
All right, then that would be wonderful wonderful. And go see a movie out there. Go continue that experience of seeing the film because regardless, pandemic or not, people are still going to flock to the movie theater because that experience is something that they will never see on their home TV.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. There's nothing like going to the theater, Sam. Nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing that compares to that feeling and experience.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you next week, buddy. Thanks.
All right.
All right, we're back. Another trip to the Geek Phone with our friend Sam Passer, who we met at Comic-Con. He's a wonderful guy. I love Sam. But thanks again to Sam for his little segment there. 5 minutes with Sam. That's what we call that on the Geek Phone. What do you guys think? We've talked all about what we think a summer blockbuster is or a summer movie is. What are the summer movies we're looking forward to? Justin, do you want to start? Is there movies you're looking forward to?
Sure. Again, with summer movies, I think of fun. I think of new movies that my kids and I would like to see together. Mm-hmm. Is what I think of. And so there's a couple of movies. In fact, this Friday, they have that new Minions, The Rise of Gru coming out.
Yeah.
And I really love Steve Carell in that atmosphere. He's hilarious. And I just like going and laughing with my kids. That's some of the best movie thing you can do, especially when it's really hot. It's cool inside. And if you can find something that's quality to go watch, it's pretty great. A couple weeks after that, they have this new movie coming out called Paws of Fury, and it's called The Legend of Hank.
Yeah.
And so it's cats and dogs, and it's this dog, Hank, voiced by Michael Cera.
Which I'm here for.
Who wants to become a samurai. And so he finds a samurai to teach him, Samuel L. Jackson, a cat samurai, and then he has to face this villain, another cat, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
And it looks hilarious.
It's interesting. I feel like I was robbed of my cartoon movie loving. Sam mentioned Lion King. And I don't know whether it was just because in the 80s, we just got rushed on our pop culture entertainment, what we were allowed to watch. When we were all watching HBO as 8-year-olds.
No, yeah.
And so the cartoon movie doesn't stick out to me as something I remember, but I feel I understand the pull of it now. And you said, it's like something that's come back as a dad.
Yeah.
When you go see these cartoon movies with your kids and they love them so much. I really saw that in a movie like Big Hero 6, which my kids adored. And I kind of love too, just getting to watch that kind of movie with them. The Incredibles, movies like that. So yeah, I can really see that. The cartoon movie. Cain?
Yeah, I'm probably in a very similar boat to Justin. I'm not especially looking forward to the animated movies, but they're great opportunities to take out the family and have a family outing and just do something together over the summer. I think it's a great opportunity, and it's a great time for them to be coming out because that's what it's all about.
Let's be really clear. I mentioned at the end of the conversation with Sam there that just going to the theater in the summer, there's something about that.
Yeah.
And going there with the family, look, we sat here and we made fun of Jurassic World Dominion last week. We basically skewered it, but I had a great time. My wife and I went to see that movie, had a great time. It was fun. You're sitting in the air-conditioned theater. You're immersed in a movie. And even if it's not a good movie, I'm entertained. I'm eating nachos. I've got a huge soda pop that I couldn't possibly finish. Life couldn't be better.
Yeah. That being said, with not really looking forward to any of the animated movies, especially, I am really looking forward to going and seeing Lightyear. I know it's out.
It's out in theaters now.
It's out at the moment. The rest of my family has seen it, and I have not. But I am actually really looking forward to going and seeing that at some point. When it comes to non-animated movies, there's pretty much just one movie that I'm looking forward to seeing.
I think I know what's
Yeah,
coming.
I think you do. But I look through a list of the coming movies, and I'm just like, no. Nope. Nope for nope.
Can you say what this movie is, but in as Cork?
Oh, Dave, I'd really like to go and see Thor: Love and Thunder.
Noise.
Yeah.
So yes, that's definitely the one movie, the one non-animated movie that I'm really, really looking forward to. There's not really anything else that hasn't already come out that I've been really looking forward to.
Well, let's just stop and talk about that one for a minute, because I think that's going to be on all of our lists. And we are geeks of the round table, after all. We do love our MCU movies. Thor: Love and Thunder, which just looks like it has all of that manic kind of comedic energy that Ragnarok had. That kind of comes from Taika Waititi. Now it's like really becoming a hallmark of his stuff.
Yeah, he is one funny dude.
Yeah. And this movie, the trailers just look fantastic. I am just here. Hemsworth, can we just take a minute and appreciate Chris Hemsworth as Thor? Everybody talks about RDJ and Captain America, Chris Evans. Are we going to just let that happen? Because Chris Hemsworth is clearly the guy who carries the Marvel Universe, in my opinion. He's amazing.
Although it's between him and RDJ who has the worst Marvel movie.
Yeah, I mean, but that's once you're picking hairs to get to the worst Marvel movie. I mean, they're all better than the DC movies.
No, the second Thor movie is awful.
It's not awful. It's just not great.
It's trash. Oh,
it's not trash.
It's hot trash.
No, I disagree.
You need to rewatch it.
Justin, add that to the summer movies list. We need a Thor Dark World rewatch.
Oh,
it will make us appreciate Taika that much more.
It will give you heartburn.
But Love and Thunder is the perfect kind. So even if you're looking at MCU movies, Thor: Love and Thunder is the summer movie. Like a Taika Waititi Thor movie should just be on Marvel's summer schedule every 3 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're just perfect.
Make it happen.
Yeah, that's on my list too. Cody, what's on your list?
So that was going to be one of them. One that just came out that I've already seen, so it was on my list. Black Phone.
Yeah, how was Black Phone?
They did a good job of building on the suspense. I don't recommend reading the short story beforehand because you'll be like, oh, this is different. This is different. You have to add when there's only 30 pages.
Yeah, it's a short story.
And I will say some of my favorite, and this isn't written by Stephen King, but some of my favorite Stephen King movies were short stories. So short stories, they're good.
You already saw Black Phone.
I did, but I saw it after the first day of summer, so it counts.
Okay.
And then I am saying yes to Nope.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Nope.
And I'm going to watch in IMAX because it was filmed with IMAX cameras. This is supposed to be a theatrical event of the season.
Now, my wife makes fun of me because when we saw a trailer for it, I was like, oh, I'm so in on this movie. And she like literally laughed. And I'm like, I think it's supposed to look campy. I think that's the point. The point is it's supposed to be a little campy because Jordan Peele does a great job as a younger director who does scary things. He seems to be really good at having this really sinister vibe underneath like a campy feel good type of thing. It just kind of sneaks in. And then once you're in it, you're like, okay, this is really scary.
Yeah. So
does Nope have ties to his other movies? Is it in any progression of the other ones he's done?
I don't think so.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a standalone or...
The first couple trailers were very cagey about what this movie was exactly about. The most recent trailer, since it's about to come out, comes out July 22nd, makes it pretty clear that what we're talking about is if this is an alien movie, which is very summer.
It is.
Very summer. It's like if Will Smith doesn't pop up in this movie, it's a lost opportunity.
It is. But yeah, the cast looks phenomenal. The Storyline, I think, will be unique-esque, but have some of those summery elements. And again, filmed in IMAX with IMAX cameras, and I'm going to watch it in IMAX. So.
Yeah. Let's talk about. I'm sorry. Were you done? I should ask that first. Did you have any more movies?
The next one that I would have mentioned comes out a month too late. It's Black Adam. So.
Oh, well.
Bummer.
I mean, it is very summer-like. It's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
And it's an anti-hero movie.
And he's like in the desert, which is very summery.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. You guys have mentioned a lot of the ones that I was going to mention. Thor, Love and Thunder, obviously for our summer blockbuster-ish type movies out there. The one that hasn't been mentioned, it's out in theaters now. Maybe that's why, but I really want to see Elvis. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. From the first trailer that came out for this, when I saw it in the theater for the first time, I thought, oh man, I really want to see this movie. And Cody's making a face. This may be an age thing.
No, so I grew up with my grandparents and my dad being huge Elvis fans. And so I've seen all the King's movies. Literally, my grandmother had them all recorded on VHS tapes, had a list of each movie. And I know that Elvis only dies in one movie. And the reason he only dies in one movie is because it broke his mama's heart. And so he swore he'd never die in another movie. So I'm going into this like with some like historical lenses on. Like, this better be very accurate. And I'm always hesitant with like music movies, because if the person doesn't sound close, then I'm critiquing the music throughout the whole movie. So
yeah, I'm
although,
unclear. Do they use real Elvis though in the movies? Because the music in the trailer, clearly that's Elvis's real voice, right?
I think in one of the trailers you hear that guy's voice, who I'm drawing a blank on, that's playing Elvis.
Yeah.
And then I'm also like really hung up on Tom Hanks' accent. Like, it is thick.
Are you bashing our beloved actor and father of Chet, Tom Hanks?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's really, really thick for the Colonel.
You better not be, buddy.
I wouldn't
better
do it.
not be.
I've been a fan since Bosom Buddies. So
I mean, we don't have any reason to doubt Tom Hanks.
Again, I'm just saying, the trailer, it's dominated by the accent.
Okay.
So.
Now, I saw a video just last night of like an interview on a talk show. It might have been, I don't think it was Jimmy Fallon. It was another one. But is the actor who plays Billy on Stranger Things, is he the one that plays Elvis?
No, it's not Billy.
Oh, okay.
This guy was actually in some.
I would say they look
real
real
was he on
similar.
some Nickelodeon series?
Maybe.
Real similar.
I want to say it's definitely not Billy from Stranger Things. I know that. Let's just look that up real quick. Cody, are you on that?
I am trying to be. So Austin Butler is his name. And let's see Austin Butler's IMDb. So he was in the Shannara Chronicles, the Carrie Diaries. He was even in Zoe 101, which is
that the Nick? Yeah, that's the Nick. I think that's what he's known for.
And
he was in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. So you're getting a fairly...
The Wizards of Waverly Place.
So Disney even...
iCarly. Yeah, he's in a lot of these things.
Yeah.
He was in a lot of Nickelodeon stuff. You know what? I'm happy for him. Look, if I'm just grading him on the trailer, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, he makes a good Elvis.
Yeah, I'm here for
on the looks at least.
Say, I apologize. It looks like the actor that plays Billy in Stranger Things is in it, but it is not Elvis.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, sorry.
So now I have something to look forward to. Like, hey, there's that guy from Stranger Things.
Okay, I want to talk about a couple under the radar ones.
Oh.
So these are not like your summer blockbusters, but there's one called Vengeance. starring BJ Novak from The Office.
Oh, yeah.
He's making his directing debut as well as writing and starring in this. He's a podcaster in New York who travels to West Texas to find out who offed his former girlfriend.
Oh.
And so she's died. But the thing is that it's kind of there's a conceit to it. In the trailer, they make a real point of him being kind of from this liberal woke world and going into this like conservative backwoods redneck world and how he gets changed by it. It looks great.
So I've heard about this movie and I was intrigued instantly just because BJ Novak did write like quite a few episodes of The Office. And like, I mean, he was in a couple films, so
Yeah, I like him.
yeah.
And so this one looks like a kind of under the radar movie. The other one that I'm looking forward to that not a lot of people are talking about comes out in August. It's called Samaritan.
Oh, I just saw the trailer for this.
There's a trailer?
I think so.
Okay. This stars Sylvester Stallone.
Oh.
So it's got summer movie. It's got summer movie, cred. And it's a superhero film.
Yeah.
It's based on a Mythos comic graphic novel, and it's basically about a guy who is an aged, retired superhero, which is perfect for Sylvester Stallone, and a kid who seeks him out to find him and to try and convince him to go back to superheroing. And this looks amazing. I really want to see this movie. I'm just a big fan of Sylvester Stallone anyways, and I can't wait to see it. A young boy learns that a superhero was thought to have gone missing after an epic battle 20 years ago may in fact still be around. That's the one sentence plot that is on IMDb. And I'm here for it.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I like an aging Sylvester Stallone movie. I thought the Creed movies were wonderful, and in large part because of him.
So you're going to be disappointed. I haven't seen a single Creed movie.
Well, they're just sitting there waiting for you to enjoy them.
Well, the issue is if he is Rocky in the Creed movies, Rocky 5 has him as a vegetable.
Rocky 5 is not canon.
It is.
No,
though.
it is not. It is not canon. Cody, we're not doing this now. This is not the time or the place.
It exists. I've seen it. He got paid for it.
Let me explain it to you. Rocky 5 is the Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull of the Rocky series. And thus, we just don't count it. It does not exist.
And then Rocky Balboa was so unrealistic.
But it was so enjoyable. Does it need to be realistic? It's a summer movie.
But like before there was real stakes and it seemed real. Like
I am not here for this Rocky slander. I am not here for it. The Mountain Dew's coming back, y'all. How can you not like Rocky?
I love Rocky.
You up to
1
Rocky
through
4?
Yeah.
You need to see the Creed movies. They're amazing. And he totally deserved to get nominated as the best supporting actor, which he did. And he's wonderful in the first Creed movie as Rocky Balboa, as it's age appropriate this time. So you'll be satisfied.
Okay.
You'll be happy.
I saw the first Creed movie. I thought it was really great.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a great movie.
Again, I just can't move on from Rocky 5 because I've seen it.
All right.
He's street fighting.
Let's get out of here. We've done all we can do. And Cody has zapped the last bit of Mountain Dew energy I had stored up. All right. What movies are your favorite summer movies of all time? When you think summer, what do you think of? We'd love to hear from you. If you would comment below the social media posts we make for this podcast. Also, we'd love to hear what movies you're looking forward to the rest of this summer.
Yes.
What movies are on your radar? What do you agree with what we said? What do you disagree with? Make sure and comment. We'd love to have conversations with you on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you so much. Please, if you love the podcast, subscribe to it, rate it, and review it. Wherever you're taking this in, it does wonders to help us out. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter if you're on either of those. That also helps us. It helps the visibility level, gets more people to listen to the podcast, and that can only mean good things for the more things we can do.